My name is Christina Halpin. This is my 14th year in practicing veterinary medicine. I am actually a North Carolina State grad and moved to Georgia, to Northeast Georgia here 14 years ago, and started my first job as a veterinarian straight out of school, and never thought that I would stay in Georgia, put down roots as much as I have, and it has been, I came here 14 years ago, never left, and have been working in this area in Madison, Franklin, um, Hart County here since 2013, the early 2013. So, and it's just been a pleasure to be part of the community here. It's been a pleasure to work on animals. I started out in mixed animal medicine, so I've worked on cats and dogs, cows, camels, all sorts of crazy exotics. And here at Ila Veterinary Clinic, we were founded originally by Dr. Schoberg in 1989, and I took over the practice in 2022. And at Ila Veterinary Clinic, we see mostly cats and dogs. That's kind of our day to day. But people do occasionally bring us sheep and goats. And we just love being here at the old Ila Elementary School and serving the people of Madison County. Yeah, I felt like when I joined Dr. Schoberg and took over for Maggie's Menagerie, he had such a deep tie to the community, that it was important that we, maintain those connections. And then when the old Ila Elementary School building was available, it just seemed such a good fit for us to, keep it such a historic, beautiful building alive, to use it for, educating pet parents, and to have so many clients come in and say, I went to school here, I worked here, so I feel like Isla Veterinary Clinic is unique in its ties to the people of the area, and we're united in keeping this community and their pets healthy, and offering, something that's really important to us is just making sure that we are keeping pets, healthy, and offering great care for them that they don't have to drive all the way to Athens for, or, because we're in such like a commuter route. But for the people of the community to keep their pets here and seen here and just in their backyard, being able to offer great service. Yeah, I think that, relationship is super important. We love being able to pick up the phone and say, see who's calling and be like, hey, how is Tango doing? How are things going? And to have employees that also are longstanding community members. And it just makes a huge difference that people understand and trust, that when they're coming here, they're coming to a group of people that they already know, that they already trust. And we've built a culture of taking care of each other. And so even though, you know, each of us cannot be available 100% of the time, all the time, that every one of my veterinarians and staff members are so committed to the clients that they take up, any communication with them. They take care of their parents, like they take care of their patients, like no matter who's here or not, like whether they know them or not, they treat them like they're their own. Yeah, I think especially since my most of my career has been in rural veterinary medicine, there are some times like I worked at a practice for a little short period of time in Duluth, and just the difference of how pets are part of a family here, and you have working dogs, you have, dogs that are having puppies, you have dogs that are, support dogs, therapy dogs. And, in this community, I feel like dogs have always been a part of day-to-day life, but more so that bond and the family understanding of how to care for pets has changed a lot. I think with the younger generation of pet owners, like as kids who grew up with pets have now become adults and have pet owners, it is even more important to them that their pets are healthy. And so we have seen this generation of people who are they're as concerned or even more concerned about their pet's health than they are even themselves. And it just goes to show how much, these dogs and cats and other animals have become just part of the fabric of the community. And I think other things that have changed is just what's available to us. Technology has increased over, pet lifespans have increased, and therefore we have animals that are living longer, that have better managed diseases as they get to be older, and then we have more options to treat them than we used to, which is exciting and great for us. And then it's just a pleasure to see somebody who, got their puppy as a high schooler and then have kids of their own. And this dog has lived a long and full life, and we're able to just continue, whether it's like senior care and options, and early diagnostics, and, the level of compassion that owners have. And, they're on top of, making sure that we screen for early diseases, and then offering options for them that weren't available 15 years ago has made a huge difference in longevity. And I think that's increased the bond too, because the longer our pets live and the happier and healthier lives they live, the better that bond has become over time. The service that I'm the most proud about at our clinic is just the level of knowledge that the veterinarians here have. And I'm not specifically speaking about me, but Dr. Jonna Mullis and Dr. Brianna Hall, and Dr. Schoberg and Dr. Adams, before they retired, practiced such high quality medicine. And so being able to be in a small town setting, but to be given gold standard, options, and to have, this team of people who are just so committed to being detailed about pet health. Our internal medicine, I think, is absolutely, our best service. And so we get so many people who are coming for second opinions, or, they've had a dog who has had a chronic illness for a long time, and we manage them, and we don't offer, emergency after hours services, but in our daytime, like intensive care, it's just a high level. We have a licensed veterinary technician who, is just held to higher standards of patient care. And she's full time on staff. And so, for those sick patients, I do think that we offer a great standard of care. The other service that we offer, we do most of our surgeries, in-house, but we do offer some specialty services that other places may not offer. So we do see patients who are in need of like bladder stone removals, or surgeries to remove or evaluate lumps and bumps that other people maybe aren't as comfortable with addressing. And then we offer like mobile radiology services. So we have board certified radiologists who come and do echocardiograms, that do abdominal ultrasounds. And then lastly, I do think that in this area, we support a lot of businesses who have dogs that they love, but then they do breed them and have puppies. And so our reproductive services, that we offer are, widely. I think that's one of the things that people seek us out for. And we partner with the University of Georgia and their reproductive specialists and have a good relationship. So, we might see a pet and get them ready to, be healthy, um, right at the right stage for breeding. And then we might send them to the University of Georgia for more specialty procedures. And then we get the benefit of seeing them back, seeing those puppies, making sure those puppies are healthy, making sure that they get their vaccines and preventative care before they go on to be in their forever homes. So that's a big part of our business too.
Nice.
I love dogs. I think that I would never have a stretch of life, and my kids won't have a stretch of life that they remember that we won't have, dogs at some point. But I do love cats. And I do feel like if you were to ask me, hold me up against it to say it, I would say I'm a cat person.
Yeah.
They're so interesting. Cats get interesting diseases. They are more, they're more reserved. And so it's more important with cats that we're more thorough, that we notice things that other people don't. And so I also feel like the challenge of providing good medicine and care for cats is like, I like the challenge of working with them, and it's harder, to see exactly what's going on with them. So, and then it's more rewarding, like when you do have a cat that's sick, and then you get them through it, and they live 20 some years sometimes, um, and they're just more reserved in personality and kind of like me, I guess.
Yeah.
And dogs, and that's the special thing about dogs that I love. They never have a bad day, and they never do you wrong. They always are happy to see you and love you.
Yeah.
And so I love that too.
Yeah.
I'm Tyrell. I've been with Ila Vet Clinic since November. My official title is the Preventative Care Manager, and that entails me basically handling all preventative care. So, like vaccines, heartworm prevention, flea and tick prevention, and vaccinations. Also, like annual blood work and things like that.
Their families.
I would say my favorite thing would be being on the front lines, like helping prevent diseases, such as heartworm prevention, like also like catching diseases early in our like elderly patients, and just being a part of the prevention.
So, tell me now. This is going to be a divisive question,
Okay.
and I haven't given anybody any warning on this one. So,
Oh gosh.
are you a dog person or are you
Oh,
a
dog.
cat person?
100%.
Oh, he didn't even
Yeah.
have to think about it.
Dog.
Dog person.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, in your
Okay, thank you. I'm Annalise. I am the licensed veterinary technician here at Ila Vet. And I've been in vet med for 9 years now. And I went to school and got my licensing done. So now I'm just working here as their licensed tech. And I love it. And at home, I've got 4 large breed dogs that stay inside with me and 2 cats. And so we're packed out at our house. But we love life, love animals, and love everything about it. Yeah. I think that definitely the biggest misconception is that we're in it for the money or that we're going to be worrying about the bottom line or how much money we can get in from someone. That's so far from the truth. I can tell you it doesn't affect our pay at the end of the week, no matter what you do or don't do. We just want to do whatever's best for people's pets. And we, one of the things I love to do is client education. So getting to educate the client about what's important, and then they can make the decision on what's most important for their pet. And it's okay if it's not everything that you can't do everything at one time. We'd rather you tell us the budget so that we can fix it for you and work around it so that we do what's best for you and your pet at a rate that that's good for you and you can handle and everything like that. But we really do, a lot of people in vet med wear their hearts on their sleeves. So that's the farthest So money's really the farthest thing from concern. We really are just worried about doing whatever's best for your pet and wanting to work with you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like heartworm prevention, you can easily get that for low as $10 to $15 a month. Whereas something like if they contract heartworms, which is super common in the South, especially Georgia with all the mosquitoes, because that's how it's transferred, treatment for that can be thousands of dollars. So it's much better. We try to recommend these preventative things, like whether that be a heartworm test or fecal exams or blood work, so that we catch something early if it needs to be caught early, and we're staying on top of it, because typically once we get down a road of a disease or something, that's whenever it starts costing a lot more. So that's the reason we recommend a lot of stuff up front and try to do the best preventative measures to keep us from having to go down that road. Any specific ones? There are a few ones that we do like to recommend depending on which ones we worked with in the past, and it typically just depends on which ones cover the best. There's so many insurances out there now, and there's some insurances that'll cover preventative measures and if something happens to your pet, but then there's a lot of them that only cover once something happens. So that's the reason. There's so many different options, so we like to recommend people kind of explore some to see what's best for them, whether they want something that's all encompassing or if they want something that's just going to treat if an injury or something occurs. So there's different options that you can go with, but I do recommend health insurance, especially when they're young, because the younger you get it, the lower it costs, and the more it'll cover for you, because once they get older, if you start diagnosing them with stuff, it can be a lot harder to get insurance to cover the cost of care for that.
Yeah.
But it does help the bill a lot, and you see the difference in client stress level when it comes to the bill part whenever they have insurance or not. Whenever we're going over what we think is best for their pet, there's a lot less stress in making decisions whenever they know that they've got some way to help soften the fall some.
Yeah. At your core.
Oh, I am very much a dog person. I love cats. I always have to preemptively say that, but I love handling a cat and everything, but I'm a big, especially a giant breed dog person. I just love dogs to the core. And yeah, golden
Yes.
retriever blood runs thick through these veins.
Yeah. About yourself.
So I'm Dr. Mullis. I started at Ila Vet Clinic about 2 years ago. I graduated from the University of Georgia back in May of 2024. I can't believe it's already been 2 years. I pursued a mixed animal career, so I do both dogs and cats, and then I'll do farm animals, so mostly goats and sheep, but sometimes the occasional cattle. I have my own old man puppy. He's 14 years old now. His name's Trooper. But that's the only pet I have for now, just because he likes being an only child. But yeah, I've been living in Athens, for the time being, and working here in Ila, so yeah. So I always knew I wanted to do something in science, and particularly medicine. I knew I didn't want to do human medicine, and actually I grew up in a Egyptian household, so it's really not, veterinary medicine really isn't part of the culture in Egypt, so it was nothing I was ever really exposed to. And I just, my uncle, he actually got a dog, and that was kind of the first dog that I was exposed to. And, he got sick and had congestive heart failure, and I kind of, took care of him and just fell in love with, taking care of him. And then, also growing up in a culture where I didn't have that, it was something that I introduced to, my family, and, really wanted to go to school for. So that's kind of how I ended up in it. Yes, I got my first pet in vet school, actually, and like convinced my parents to get this cat named Grape. And to this day, my mom, she was obsessed with that cat, and she loves animals now.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yes, yeah. So
he?
So he's a mixed breed. He's a mutt. He's like a larger breed. We think he's got like Mastiff and Rottweiler in him. But he's good. He's got some arthritis in his hip, so he's slowing down these days. But he's been with us for 8 years now. So yeah.
Nice. So special. It's healthy.
I love talking to owners about preventative medicine. So, I think a lot of people find preventative medicine as something that vets kind of market or advertise a lot. And I think that particularly, heartworm, flea, and tick prevention, doing their annual blood work, can be annoying and very costly up front. But behind the scenes where we kind of trend their blood work, year to year, it's easier to catch diseases earlier and potentially, prevent them from progression or treating them early. Because a lot of times, you have pets come in and they're kind of at the end stages of kidney disease or heart disease, and it may have been something that you could have catched earlier. And that's really hard treating those cases, knowing that you could have caught it earlier. If we had just done the blood work, if we had just got them on heartworm prevention or, flea and tick prevention. So I think preventative medicine is really something that I try to, put on my clients and tell them it's not for the money. It really is, for your pets. I'm a goat person.
A goat person. Okay.
But I used to always think I was a dog person, and then I got a cat, and I was like, I'm a diehard cat person. But now having a dog, I feel like as a vet, I can't choose.
Okay, my name is Ivy Brandon. I am the head receptionist here at Ila Vet Clinic. I've been here for almost 4 years or almost 5. I can't keep up with it anymore, but it's been a long time. I am born and raised in Madison County, been here my whole life. It is my favorite place. I don't know that I will ever leave. I have a 7-year-old son. He's been here his whole life too. And we love it here.
Yeah. Nice.
That's actually my favorite thing, is being the first face or voice that they hear. I try to be welcoming, I try to get as much information from them as I can so that they feel welcomed and they feel like all their questions are answered. So that's what I enjoy doing. I value the relationships that I've built within our small community. So being in Madison County, it feels like such an at-home, everyone is family here, and I really have enjoyed building that relationship with not only the clients, but their pet as well. So I get to do both. I get to see both sides I'm right there with the clients, hand in hand, I try to be as helpful as I can through the tough times and also through the good times. And that's what I enjoy the most, is being able to be that person for them, for the client, but as well as the pet. I really enjoy that.
Things like that.
I think it's just remembering where I'm at and what my purpose here at Ila Vet Clinic is. And so I know how overwhelming it can be with my I don't personally have pets, but my family, they are breeders. They do English Springer Spaniels. And so I can see the panic sometimes in those tough situations within my family. And so I try to remember what my purpose is as the receptionist and as that first face and voice they hear, to just give them a little bit of reassurance that we're here for you. We are going to do all that we can to help your pet and also to help you as a client also. That's a hard one because it's hard to choose because I've grown up with both. Like get this special little cat that we found, and he's all covered in fleas, so we'd nurse him back to life. But then we also, on the other hand, did the dogs too. I don't think I could choose between a dog or a cat person. They are both, to me, I mean, either one. They're so awesome.
They're so different.
I know most people are team dog or team cat, but I'm happy with either of them. Yeah.
Well, that's special too.
Yeah. A couple of different ways that you can get in contact with us. Of course, you can always give us a call here at the clinic. And our phone number is 706-789-2232. And you're welcome to call anytime. We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the weekdays, Monday through Friday. The first 3 Saturdays of the month, we are open as well from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. You're welcome to call then. And then you can also go to our website online. That's www.ilavetclinic.com.